Welcome to the 2025 Village of Channahon State of the Village. If you would all please rise while our honor guard presents the colors. And if you would all remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Take your seats. And I would like to invite Pastor Ben Ingleson up for our invocation.
That's really nice, thank you. Welcome everybody. Two very brief quotes on the theme of hope, beginnings, and community. The first, despite the forecast, live like it's spring. That's from Willie Pulitzer, and an African proverb. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Thank you very much. And if you couldn't tell, Pastor Ben is also our police chaplain, judging by the round of applause he got from our department. I want to thank you all for coming here this morning to hear about the wonderful things happening in the Village of Channahon, and I would like to recognize some of our elected officials, and I can no longer see, I'm 59 years old, so pardon the cheaters. Channahon Park District, representing Channahon Park District, we have Art Scatia, Ron Lehman, and Dennis Clower over here at our front table. Channahon Township, Rita Duchesne Hughes and David Nelson, thank you for coming. District 17 School District, Pat Clower, who you'll hear more about in a few minutes. Mayor Chris Brown from the City of Morris, Tim Jeskowitz and Laura Horechko from Minooka High School District 111. Shannon Hogan Entwistle representing Senator Resin's office. Jennifer Doyle from our Three Rivers Public Library District. Village of Channahon trustees Patty Perinar, Mark Skaggs, and Sam Greco are here this morning. Dave Spezia, Mayor of Coal City. Cece DeBold, Mayor of Shorewood. Annette Parker, Will County Clerk. Karen Stuckel, Will County Recorder's Office. And Jennifer Bertino Tarrant, the Will County Executive. Thank you all for being here this morning and welcome. As promised, this morning will be the unveiling of our new logo. Let me just say that change is hard. We have had our old logo for many decades, and there were some parts of it that were uniquely us, uniquely Channahon, like our Three Rivers. But the logo itself was complex and difficult to reproduce, and the town is not the same as it was when we adopted that old logo. We are more than 3 times bigger than we were those decades ago. So we teamed up with A5 Branding and Digital, and John Harris from A5 is here this morning. Thank you for working with us, to work on an updated logo and branding for the Village of Channahon. What I wanted was something that was representative of where we are and where we're going. I wanted it clean and more modern, and I wanted it to be recognizable as the Village of Channahon. And a town moving into the future. So John and his team at A5 did a ton of public outreach. They did public surveys, they did focus groups, they did key stakeholder interviews, and we learned 2 very important overarching themes. Number 1, by a long shot, was nature. Nature is so important to Channahon, and look around you at this beautiful venue here. And thank you to the Forest Preserve District of Will County for providing us with this venue. You can go outside this venue and watch eagles soar, literally watch eagles soar. We have space for hiking and biking and canoeing and kayaking and fishing and hunting and anything you can think you want to do outside, we have the space for it. We have incredible natural amenities. That was the first overarching theme. The second overarching theme was that we are a safe and connected community. And kudos to our police department for being a big part of that. So a staff logo committee and John Harris and his team from A5 worked together on many, many iterations of what a logo might look like. There's a couple of things we wanted to keep. As I said, there were some things in our old logo that were really indicative of us. Our three rivers. We wanted to celebrate, continue to celebrate, our Native American heritage. Channahon is a Potawatomi word that means meeting of the waters. So we wanted to keep our three rivers. We wanted to bring in the green to signify the nature, and then we wanted to bring it all together with our people and the connectedness and bring everything together in a recognizable Channahon Sea. We're there, I told her I would be behind the slideshow. We took the design to our Arts Commission, our Board of Trustees, and maybe most importantly this time, our student government, young people. For the last 10 years, we have been hosting at the Village of Channahon a Student Job Shadow Day, and thank you to District 17 for your partnership in that. The 7th and 8th grade Student Council comes and spends the day with staff and myself, and they run a board meeting at the end of the evening, and they adopt a resolution of their own. This year, we had a particularly thoughtful and articulate and insightful group of young people, and we brought the logo designs to them. They are our future leaders and the voice of our future. And they had a very definite choice. And if you're asking me, I think that was the tipping point in which logo we chose, was that our future specifically wanted one. It brought the rivers, the nature, and our people all together. So, I was going to say I'd proudly present our new logo, but you've already seen it. So, and our tagline, naturally. And so my joke has been recently that I feel like I should be saying that over my shoulder, like it's a given, right? Shannon, naturally. So that is our new tagline and our new logo, and there will be gifts for everyone on the way out. Now I will take the privilege of the chair and rearrange the order of things a little bit. Usually, we award our Citizen of the Year award a little bit later in the program, but you will understand why I moved it up to the beginning here in just a few minutes. So every year, we award the Amos Hayes Citizen of the Year to someone who truly cares about our community, about others, and gives of their time and talents freely. So let me tell you a little bit about our Citizen of the Year. Pat Clower, you don't have to come on now. You're gonna let me talk for a second about you. I have known Pat mostly my whole life. She lives directly across the street from my parents' house, and in fact, you all passed her home and theirs on the way here today on Blackberry Lane. Pat has been a member of the District 17 School Board for going on 45 years now, is that correct? 45 years. That is an accomplishment by any standard. She has been a local business owner. She and her husband, Denny, started a local business and ran it for many years. She is instrumental in a group called Gardening Angels, who makes sure that our welcome sign flower beds and our flower beds at the Village Hall are planted and ready for our Memorial Day ceremony. Pat has also been a driving force in our newly created Arts and Culture Commission. I love arts and culture, and that is one of those things that I have wanted for a very long time to start. But in the face of a million priorities, it is also one of those things that is easy to kind of push to the back burner. Not for Pat. Pat was a driving force and calling with a billion ideas, wonderful ideas. What can we do here? What can we do there? We need to form this art commission, and she truly was the driving force in us creating an art commission and putting it together. We now have an up and running art commission with 5 board members, and we also have a spot for a student representative to be on that art commission as well. Now, the reason that I moved this up to the beginning, if all of that stuff isn't enough, Pat by trade is a retired accountant. And today is April 10th. Tax season is upon us. And Pat spends her time voluntarily doing tax returns for senior citizens. So someone is covering for her right now, so I told her we would do this award at the beginning, and then we would let her get back to what she does best. So, humility is another one of the qualities that we look for in our Citizen of the Year. So, funny story, Cindy called Pat to tell her that we had chosen her as Citizen of the Year, and then Cindy called me and said, she doesn't want it. And I said, excuse me? And what Cindy told Pat was, I'll have Missy call you. And then Pat said, oh, Missy will wear me down. Yes, Missy will wear you down. And so I called Pat, and thank you, Denny, for your help in that endeavor, because Denny was in the background saying, Pat, it will be a nice feather in your cap. And Pat said, I don't need feathers. But we did indeed wear her down. And that is the point. She doesn't need feathers, but she deserves feathers. And as she has been a member of the Channahon District 17 School Board for almost 45 years, we reached out to Superintendent Dr. Nick Henkel and asked him to say a few words. And what I received from Nick was so clearly written in his own voice that I want to invite him up here today to read it himself.
Good morning, everybody. Pat's a woman. If you know Pat, she's a woman of big convictions and an even bigger heart, so it was an honor to be asked to share a couple words. So, since joining the board in August of 1980, and just a quick note, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Pat, I was born a month later after she joined the board.
It makes you feel better. That's the year I graduated.
Love you, Pat. She's been a steadfast champion for the students and community of Channahon School District 17. Though many board members have come and gone through the years, Pat has remained a constant positive force for the community. Certainly 45 years of service is enough in any role, but school board members are uniquely responsible for a community's most precious asset, its children. In Pat's time, the challenges have been great, but the triumphs have been far greater. Just a few recent examples of how Pat has helped to impact Channahon 17 for good. Pat's been there to ask the right questions about student academic performance and has been supportive in helping us reach the top 10% of school districts in Illinois, including a designation as a model PLC school. Pat has seen unique staffing challenges through the years, but recently celebrated our 3rd consecutive year of earning the Herald News Best Workplace Award in Will and Grundy County. Pat was there to navigate the days of tax anticipation warrants, of ballooning class sizes, but recently celebrated Dave Ramsey style with a debt-free scream when we paid off our final bonds. And finally, as we all remember, she stood with us to see COVID arrive and the world paralyzed. But then, with our thoughtful board, gave the green light to blaze a trail in August of 2020 to keep schools open to in-person learning so our students could come into a safe and clean place to learn and grow, and families could go to work. As a result, we experienced no learning loss and were able to greatly mitigate the social and emotional challenges that so many communities did face. It's for these few reasons and many, many more that Pat is celebrating a recent re-election, and we are very happy about that, and also receiving a very well-deserved Citizen of the Year award. Pat has been a remarkable blessing to the school district and this community, and I know I speak for our entire community when I say thank you, Pat.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you our reluctant Citizen of the Year, Mrs. Pat Power. This is the first Citizen of the Year award with the new logo, too. Two minutes, 1 minute, okay.
I really thank you for this. It truly is not necessary. I know every one of you in this room knows what it's like to be a little community and a big community of Channahon, because we're made up of communities, whether it's a booster club or PTO or on a school board or a fire board or whatever. When you need help, you call a friend, and then they call their friends, and everybody comes. And I'm so grateful to live in Channahon, because that's what we're made of. Everything we need, we call up somebody, and a group of us come. How long do you need me? What day do you need me? And they come. And so it's not one person. It's really, everything I do is on a school board with 7 board members in administration, or the art commission with 5 board members in a administration that helps you. You can't do it. One person can't do this. And so it's really not one person. It's really the community that I appreciate. So thank you. And excuse me, because I do need to go. So thank you.
You are excused. So Channahon, and Pat said a lot about Channahon and a lot about the theme of this speech today. It is doing it together. We have once again been voted a top workplace, and I will say that that is because our people are our most valuable asset. I cannot thank staff enough. I'm going to tell you a little story about staff and staffing at the Village of Channahon, and Melissa, who is back at the shop today manning the store. Melissa came to us first in the finance department, and then through a retirement and some shuffling around internally, there was an opportunity at the front office. And that's where Melissa truly wanted to be. And she had only been here for a short time, so when she put in for this, we were wondering why she wanted to move so quickly. And what she said was, people don't leave here until they retire. People want to stay. So she took that opportunity when she had it, because she wasn't sure that there was going to be another opportunity anytime soon. Our people stay. We are a family, and our staff, our people, are our best assets. I also want to thank our elected board of trustees and our village clerk for their dedicated service to our community, for our culture of respect for each other, and for the staff of professionals and our faith in those professionals to move us forward. Trustees Perinar and Skaggs and Greco are in attendance this morning. We also have trustees Host, McMillan, and Slocum. I had to think, I was like, who did I miss? Moving into that faith that we have in our assembled staff, we have our department heads. They are an outstanding team of professionals, and it is my honor and my privilege to lead this team. We have Police Chief Adam Bogart, Village Administrator Tom Durkin, Assistant Village Administrator Mike Petrick, Director of Finance Heather Wagenblatt, Public Works Director Ed, I was like, where's Ed? Ed Dolezal, and Development Director Scott McMaster. I'm sorry, Scott. Did I miss anybody out there? All right, I got it over here. Oh, and our EMA Director, John Romingo. Where are you? John was here somewhere, way in the back. Can't be expected to remember if I can't see you, John. They are truly responsible for moving Channahon forward and positioning us for our future success. And as Pat said, none of us does this alone. So we are thankful to all of our boards and commissions, from planning and zoning to our tree board, to our police and fire, to our arts and culture commission. Without the countless hours that all of these folks put in, we would not be where we are or where we're going. We are thankful to our village partners. Nobody does this alone, as you heard Pat say. The Village of Channahon spans 2 counties, 3 library districts, 5 fire protection districts, and so many others. Within our municipal boundaries, we have 5 grade school districts, 3 high school districts, and 2 unit school districts. So I always laugh a little bit when people complain to me that they move to Channahon or they live in Channahon and their kids don't even go to Channahon schools. The kids on the east side of 55 go to Troy. The kids on the west side go to Minooka 201. The kids south of the river go to Coal City or Wilmington. It's really only the center of town kids that go to Channahon District 17, and we share some high school districts as well. But what they all have in common, and I want to thank Dr. Namuo, who is here this morning, Joliet Junior College District, where all of our students, regardless of their school districts, have a wonderful opportunity and an affordable opportunity for higher education. So thank you, Dr. Namuo and Joliet Junior College. Plus the color is purple out there, so you know. So we're good. All right, let's get to some meat and potatoes. Town center. We have grown up in a very linear way along Route 6. We have this piece of property that we purchased a couple of years ago that was designed probably 20 years ago for a town center. One of the things in that town center plan was a village green. As you all know, the economy in the years following that tanked, and that plan was no longer viable. And I was determined to come up with a new plan, to have something happen in that town center, to create a place where our people could gather, and to that connectedness that we all feel. Let's find a place for people to come together. So the biggest part of that for me was a village green. And I wanted it to be walkable, so that we encouraged pedestrians and people to connect with one another, with shops and restaurants and whatever else it is that you would expect to find around a village green. So we partnered with Ginkgo Planning and Design for a buildable and an attainable design. And what you see behind me is what we came up with. The public hearing for this design will be this coming Monday night, and then it will be on the April 21st board meeting agenda for adoption. So look for some summer events. We want to have some things out there. We want to start making it, even before we can build it out as a village green or a town center, make it a place where people identify it and where it has a tangible feel to it. So we want to do some summer music events and establish it as a place. Trustee Host came up with the idea of mowing the village green lower than the rest of it, so it is visible as a physical, tangible thing. And if nothing else, you will see me out there at some point this summer with my shovel, because I am breaking some ground come hell or high water. I will be out there. Look for our events, like I said, some music events hopefully, and then the Three Rivers Car Show will definitely be there on August 10th this year. Another big thing we have going on at the Village of Channahon is the Northeast Grundy County Regional Collaboration Plan. And this is such a shining example of partnership. When CN purchased about 900 acres on our far west end, I looked at that and said, this is going to have regional impact. There's nothing we can do out there that is not going to have regional impact. So I invited our regional leaders to the table, and we looked at a map, and we met over the course. We meet regularly, monthly, every 4, 5, 6 weeks, depending on schedules. But we all meet together, and when we started looking at it, we realized that it was not just the CN, that it is a much bigger picture, and all of us have impact on each other. Out there in that immediate vicinity, we have the chemical corridor plants, Lyondell-Basell and Oxable Liquid Products, and they are valuable community partners. We also have directly adjacent to the north, Minooka's industrial district, and we all share an interchange, Minooka and Morris and the Village of Channahon at Brisbane Road, and the development that Morris has going on with GE at Brisbane, and the needed updates and improvements at Route 6 where it meets 47. And as we grew, as our thinking grew, Shorewood and Diamond also joined us. And we have been meeting regularly for almost 2 years. It's not just the municipalities. I want to thank our state and federal legislators who regularly meet with us. Thank you to Senator Rezin, former Senator Bennett, Senator Balkema, U.S. Congressman LaHood, and State Representative Bunting, who are all of the representatives in that general area. for meeting with us and being part of this plan. IDOT has a dedicated employee in Mike Short who is at every meeting and working with us for improvements. And our economic development partners, Will County Economic Development and Grundy County Economic Development and Will County Governmental League. Thank you everybody for joining in this effort. We have recently secured a $400,000 state planning and research grant, and we are collectively identifying, prioritizing, and addressing regional transportation infrastructure needs. No one operates in a bubble. As our area is expanding, our invitations to legislators will expand, and we want to thank all of our partners. And Pat stole all my thunder here because together we are better, and she said that a lot. I also want to thank County Executive Jennifer Bertino-Tarrant, especially Deputy Chief of Staff Elaine Bottomley, and the City of Joliet for being our partners in the Phase 1 engineering of the widening of Route 6 east of I-55. And a couple of other admin highlights then. Under construction currently, we have the I&M Canal Gateway. It is tying in our nature. It is just another attempt by us for utilizing our nature and bringing our people together. It was largely funded with diesel fuel tax revenue designed by White & Company, and it will have bike rentals, bike repairs, water filling stations, a pavilion, and a place for a public art installation. Thank you to Pat Flower for making sure that we included that in our plan. And direct access to the I&M Canal Trail that we are so fortunate runs through the village of Channahon, and you crossed it. It is right out there. With a nod to our nature, we are going to be eco-friendly. The parking lot will be constructed of permeable pavers so that we have sustainable stormwater management there as well. So we broke ground on that on March 18th of this year, and that is scheduled for completion sometime this summer. So also thank you to Representative Larry Walsh for helping us with through the IDOT permitting process for the driveway for that piece. Now the other thing, I'm going to go back to the Art Commission. We established this in 2024. And as I said, Pat Clower was a driving force in creating this Arts Commission. We have 5 members and a spot for a youth member that we will choose at the upcoming school year. So we wanted to make sure that our Arts Commission encompassed all art forms, not just sculpture or paintings, or we wanted it to be theater and anything else that you can think of. So that is the task that is before our Arts Commission. Their first project was a really nice, easy one, and again, I gotta go back to Pat Clower and thank you for the partnership of Channahon School District 17. Channahon District 17 has a bus garage that is a block building and it needed some tuck pointing. And so they did that this year, and Pat said, wait, don't paint it. We have an idea. And Megan Verbick, who is the District 17 art teacher, is also on our Arts and Culture Commission. So Pat's idea was to paint a mural on 3 of them, in fact, on 3 sides of the bus barn. Pat got together with Megan, who designed the murals, and then they pulled in the 4th grade art students and the scouts who were instrumental in making the purple cone flower, the official village flower of the village of Channahon, and a host of volunteers, and painted that mural on the side of the bus barn, and then there's 2 other sides. One of those cone flowers is mine. I was so excited I got to participate in that, and then we cut the ribbon on that as well. So their current project now, they are working on an attractions map that will include 26 significant locations in the village of Channahon to help our residents and our visitors better identify and enjoy all of the amenities we have here. And beyond that, I can't wait to see their next idea. Moving on to finance. Heather's going to be super embarrassed here because I'm going to tell everyone what her nickname around the building is. Look at her, she's already like, oh. So staff has taken to calling her the Dream Crusher. I will argue this for you. I will die on this hill. She is not a dream crusher, she is a dream maker. She and her staff in finance have been an instrumental part in our ability to lower the tax rate for the village of Channahon for the last 8 years in a row. That's more than 20% overall. And continuing to provide outstanding service for our residents and our businesses. Our financing team makes sure that we stay on budget, that we have a reasonable and attainable budget, and we stay within our means, and we have a capital improvement plan and schedule. We are growing, and Heather, the dream maker, is the person who helps us support that growth. So thank you to finance. Community development highlights. An interesting trend in the last few years, as I said, we grew up in a very linear way along Route 6. So most of our empty property has been out of the Grundy County side moving west. This year, for the first time in a very long time, the growth in the Will County side was slightly higher than the Grundy County side. Due in large fact to the popularity of that town center. You know, the one where I'm going out with a shovel to make a village green, that one. It is a very popular place. People want to live there. People want to be connected. People want to be in the middle of town. We are a town right now of about 14,500 people. That is up more than 6% from the 2020 census. We are the third fastest growing municipality in the area, behind only Manhattan and Plainfield. And if these numbers continue, we could reach 16,000 by the end of the decade. Part of the reason why we wanted an updated logo and branding. We are a changing and a growing community, and we wanted to update and make our logo fit better with where we are and where we're going. We always like to celebrate our new businesses, and you don't need me to read all of these for you. Just a couple of highlights. Busey Bank, who was here and built a building out on Route 6 and Bell Road several years ago, left the community, and wait, it gets better. A union labor health center is now in that building, and Busey has come back to the Channahon community with their purchase of Merchants and Manufacturers Bank. Natabrada's Cafe also opened, so you can go and watch some sports games. You can, they have gaming, and grab a sandwich. Go there as well. Happy Falafel came. O'Reilly Auto Parts came to Channahon, and I'm very happy to say that Three Rivers Cafe opened this past week. And I mention them specifically because it's a little bit unique. They are located in a recently remodeled Old Village Hall. They are at 24144. I can still remember the address. The Old Village Hall is down closer to Route 6. They purchased that building, remodeled it, and they just opened this week. So we are proud of our many businesses. Also, as long as we're on the subject of businesses, every year we award a Business of the Year, the Fred Ridoff George Sparagus Business of the Year Award. This year, our Business of the Year is Core Homes, and we'll talk a little bit about growth. Owners John Major and Amy Capista come with 40 plus years of experience, not each. Collectively. Collectively. Their numbers here in Channahon are staggering. Since 2015, they are a builder who does one-off homes. They are custom homes. Since 2015, they have built 243 homes in the village of Channahon. And I liked this quote a lot from you guys, and I kept it. We've built a lot of homes and communities over the years, but we'll never forget our roots. One family's desire to help other families build homes that last for life. And that is truly how Core Homes builds their homes. They have contributed $61 million in construction value to the village of Channahon in the last 10 years. And that includes $3.4 million in impact fees for our schools, our parks, our libraries, and our fire districts. They built a quality product that is in high demand. They even this past year built a home for my in-laws. And I told John I was going to say this. I am now his favorite mayor because when my mother-in-law asked for his cell phone number, I said, oh, let me call John for you. I'm not giving out his cell phone number. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you our 2025 Business of the Year, Core Homes. A couple of words.
I just want to say, what a unique opportunity. Was not expecting this at all. But I want to thank everyone at Core Homes that's made this possible, because it's not because it's just me and Amy, it's because of everyone that works here. And above that, it's everyone at the village. I'll tell you what, this village is so forward-focused and does not step in the path of progress on anything and keeps things moving. So it's because of the village that we're successful. So I thank you all for that.
I just want to reiterate what John said. We couldn't do what we did without our staff, which is amazing, and the village, because you make our job easy, and you're so easy to work with, and we feel like you're a part of our extended team, because anytime we call, we need something, you're always there and you're always helping us. And for us, that's massive to go forward and contribute to this community. So thank you.
Our Public Works Department has been exceedingly busy. A growing community has growing infrastructure needs. Of course, that means streets, but it's more than that. Ed Dolezal, our Public Works Director, leads the team in Public Works. And part of our goal, and part of my goal, thankfully part of their goal, and part of the goal of our village board, is to extend our bike path system. We love our nature here. We love our natural amenities. I want everybody to be able to go from one end of Channahon to the other and everywhere in between without ever getting in a vehicle. So to that end, we continue to extend our multi-use path system. We are currently in the final phase of the Bridge Street multi-use path, which will then connect South Campus High School to the I&M Canal Trail and all of our other trails. We are also partnering with Channahon Township on a path along McKinley Woods Road, and with the Village of Minooka on a path on McKevely Road to connect our two towns, the bike paths of our two towns together. So not only will you be able to go from one end of Channahon to the other, you'll also be able to go into Minooka and through Minooka as well. I want to thank all of our partners who are instrumental in that program, and thank you to Senator Ventura for the grant dollars that she has been able to secure for us. As I said, we are growing, and as that growth continues, we are building a new public works facility. We have just simply outgrown the facility at Blackberry Lane. So we had the opportunity to purchase several acres at Bell Road and Route 6. It is directly across the street from Minooka High School South Campus at a signalized interchange. And as we continue to grow to the west, it makes our Public Works Department more centralized. It is much closer to the geographic center of town. So we are working with Kluber Architects and are currently in the design phase of that, and is super excited to have enough storage space for all of our equipment at some point. We are also working on a lot of big water projects. We are continue to work on a wastewater treatment facility on the west side, but our big project, and lots of you and lots of our partners are here, is the Grand Prairie Water Commission. The aquifer that several communities depend on for water is depleting more quickly than it is replenishing, and so we had to make sure that we looked somewhere else and for a clean, reliable, and sustainable water source. We partnered with Crest Hill, Joliet, Minooka, Romeoville, and Shorewood to form the Grand Prairie Water Commission. And we each had to go and get a Lake Michigan water allocation, and part of that permitting process with the IEPA to be able to draw Lake Michigan water is that your internal water system has to have less than 10% water loss, or unpaid water, as it were. I'm happy to say that the village of Channahon is at 5.1%, so we are ready to go, and that water source is scheduled to be turned on in 2030. It is a massive project, beginning with a 66-inch pipe beginning in Durkin Park in Chicago. It will provide many, many union construction jobs, not just for the project itself, but for all of the internal improvements that all of the member municipalities have to do within their own framework. We recently were on a DC trip with Mayor DeBold from Shorewood and the city of Joliet, where we met with all of our representatives and partners looking for funding sources, additional funding sources, and grant money to help us offset the cost to our users. Our emergency management agency, John way back there hiding in the back. I know most of you have heard me talk about this before. It was formed in 2019 when I tapped John Verminga to say, make this, make it happen. We didn't have one prior to that. John has created a system that is the gold standard among other municipalities. They call for advice, they call for guidance. John has created a volunteer corps of 27 volunteers, and 12 of those volunteers have been here for more than 4 years. It is an incredible resource in and out of Channahon, to our police department, our fire department, and I am proud to say that our entire village staff is CPR AED certified, and thank you to Channahon Fire Protection District for partnering and making sure that we could all get that training. Our police department, always incredibly proud of these folks. Our police department is an Illinois law enforcement Tier 1 accredited agency, an Alexipol Connect Gold agency for their achievements in training and policy. That ensures best practices and clearly is evident in that safe community that everybody who lives here and visits here feels. In 2024, we had a growing department. We hired 2 new officers in 24, Officer Shaughnessy, who came to us from the Will County Sheriff's Department's Corrections Division, and Officer Filia, who is a proud United States Marine who served our country in the global war on terrorism. 4 officers graduated the Police Academy in 2024. Officer Sobel and Ingram graduated in April of last year. Officer Filia graduated in August. And Officer Shaughnessy, who also graduated in August, was awarded by his peers at the Academy the George P. Graves Leadership Award for the highest level of integrity, character, dedication, and ethics. I could not be more proud of Chief Bogart and his leadership of our police department. Our police department is about more than enforcement. It is about community policing. And here's a quote from Adam. I gather everybody's quotes, it's fine. The Channahon Police Department is committed to investing time and meaningful solutions to address the quality of life the residents and businesses of this community have come to expect and deserve. And that commitment by our police department shows. From fingerprinting kindergartners to Draw with the Law family events to Slam the Scam senior events, Channahon PD does it all and more. Detective Ethan Anderson and Officer Adam Nelly are also members of the ILEAS Mobile Field Force and provided national support along with other departments at both the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee and the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. And each year, we celebrate our police department by awarding one police officer the William Kennedy Police Officer of the Year. This is for an officer nominated by his or her peers who best embodies the outstanding qualities of a Channahon police officer throughout the year. And someone was kind enough to print this in big enough print for me to read without cheaters. So, each year we honor the officer who exemplifies the values and principles our police department holds true to their commitment to protect and serve the community with the William Kennedy Officer of the Year Award. Named after Bill Kennedy, who served this community as a police officer, firefighter, and eventually as chairperson of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, choosing the recipients of this reward is no easy task when you consider the 29 dedicated officers of the Channahon Police Department who work diligently every day serving and engaging the community to make Channahon a village you can be proud to live, work, and visit. However, the efforts and contributions of Detective Sergeant John Blau elevated him above several others in consideration of this honor. In addition to his professional career, John is a devoted husband and father of 3, a veteran of the United States, and a fishing captain. Captain's all in capital. He has earned the privilege to be counted among numerous others to receive this award. Several of those former recipients are here this morning, and still more continue to serve this community with the same enthusiasm and professionalism that earned them the award in years past. With this award, Sergeant Blau becomes the first Channahon officer to individually earn it for the 2nd time. Sergeant Blau came to the Channahon Police Department in May of 2010 and was then Officer Blau, a graduate of Minooka Community High School. John joined the U.S. Army, where he served his country in the global war on terrorism in Iraq, earning the Combat Action Badge. After an honorable discharge, John returned home to begin his collegiate studies while working full-time. Over the duration of his career, Sergeant Blau has consistently been a leader in enforcement efforts, including DUIs, warrant and criminal arrests, and organizing community events. In January of 2020, Officer Blau was promoted to Sergeant Blau after distinguishing himself in the promotional process. Since his promotion, Sergeant Blau has led a daytime patrol shift, a nighttime patrol shift, and is now the investigations unit supervisor. John has also always shown a great desire to lead the officers of his department. Sergeant Blau has trained every officer in the disciplines of firearms proficiency, conducted energy devices, and the ever-important constitutional application of appropriate force. Sergeant Blau continues to take on new challenges each and every year. Upon assignment to the investigations unit in early 2024, Sergeant Blau immediately sought out opportunities to lead even more by earning certification as a school resource officer and accepting the role of division commander of the investigations section of the Will Grundy Major Crimes Task Force. John's dedication and commitment to his department, community, and his fellow officers is unparalleled. His contributions to the department's mission, fellow first responders and residents of our community, reflects the values shared by the namesake of this award, Commissioner Bill Kennedy. On behalf of Chief Bogart, the entire police department, and village officials, it is with great pleasure that I present the William Kennedy Officer of the Year Award to Detective Sergeant John Blau. I told you wouldn't have to say a lot, but you have to say a little.
She'll regret this immediately. Thank you. The theme has been that I cannot do this alone. This is not an individual award. This is definitely a teamwork award. I have to thank my team. They definitely make me look a lot better than I actually am. They have to also deal with me every day, so I understand that struggle, so I do appreciate them. They work tirelessly for this community, and I really appreciate it. My wife lets me go fishing. I think that's her rest away from me, so I very much appreciate that as well. They've had to deal with a lot through all the 15 years that we've been here. I'm very appreciative. I love this community. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much, Officer Blau. Sergeant Blau. Detective Sergeant Blau. I'm sorry. That was Ethan who actually submitted the nomination and said Detective Sergeant Blau a million times. You would think that I would know that, right? It's just Blau. It's just Blau. It's just Blau. He's a fishing captain. And then I would be remiss if I also did not recognize the contributions of a very special retiree. Our K-9 officer, Hutch, will be retiring this year. Hutch came to us in 2016 and the community absolutely stepped up and welcomed him and wrapped their arms around him. From Mallard Point to Feedloft to Puppy Cuts to Tractor Supply, who supplied everything that we needed to keep Hutch healthy and fed. And Hutch has become an amazing asset in both police work and public relations. Sergeant Carlson, I said Sergeant, Sergeant Carlson has been our K-9 handler from day one, and he built our K-9 program from the ground up. Sergeant Carlson is not retiring. Dustin, no. Hutch is retiring, and very soon here, Detective Ethan Anderson will be our new K-9. He will bring his new K-9 partner to the Village of Channahon Police Force. And I've heard some rumblings about a name, but I'm not going to divulge it here. We'll wait till his debutante ball. You, sir, have some big shoes to fill, and your K-9 partner has some big paws to fill. I also want to thank State's Attorney Jim Glasgow for his commitment to his League of Extraordinary K-9s. There are many communities in Will County that would not have most communities in Will County would not have K-9 units if it were not for State's Attorney Glasgow's commitment to K-9 units. So this one, so here's someone wrote this about Hutch. This one is not in big enough font for me to read, so you'll forgive me if I'm like this. In early 2016, the police department began the process of initiating its first certified K-9 program. During that process, then Officer, now Sergeant, Dustin Carlson, was identified and assigned as the K-9 handler. Since taking on this assignment, now Sergeant Carlson has developed our program into the overwhelming success it is today. Together, Sergeant Carlson and his faithful partner Hutch have served the community with honor, distinction, and professionalism. Together, this team has rid the streets of large amounts of illegal narcotics and located several weapons used in violent crimes, including murder weapons. Through countless hours of training and team building, our K-9 unit has distinguished themselves from their peers across Grundy and Will counties. And while their focus has always been on law enforcement and prevention, both Sergeant Carlson and Hutch have been the shining example of community policing and engagement. Never one to shy away from a good scratch, Hutch has likely left an untold amount of fur on some of you in attendance today. And it's a little dangerous that I wore black because he sheds. During department tours, special events like Three Rivers Fest and the Pink Heels Mother's Day Walk, Dustin and Hutch have given back to the community through demonstrations and guest star appearances at block parties. But the time has come for both Hutch and Sergeant Carlson to pass the torch. On behalf of the Village of Channahon, the Channahon Police Department, and the entire community, Sergeant Carlson and Hutch, I would invite you to come up to the podium. And Trish and Knox and Peyton, can you guys come up too? And Ethan, I need you as well.
Hi, buddy. Sorry. Hi, guys.
This is Sergeant Carlson's family, his wife Trish, his son Knox, and Peyton, and Hutch is not gentle. I promised Ethan I would not make him say anything today, so I'm going to give you that, and I'm going to give you that. All right. Dustin first. Sergeant Carlson, please accept this plaque in recognition of your dedication and service as the Channahon Police Department's first accredited K-9 officer. And Hutch, Oh, I know, buddy. Please accept this retirement badge to be worn signifying your life's work in protecting the residents, businesses, and visitors of the village of Channahon. We hope your retirement is full of love and care that you have provided us. Of course, we cannot forget that both Sergeant Carlson and Hutch are supported in all they do by their family. To Trish, Knox, and Peyton, thank you for your love and support of these two brave gentlemen. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we appreciate you sharing your home, your hearts, your time, and your husband and your dad, and now your family pet with us. We must also acknowledge those who made our K-9 unit a reality. Again, thank you to State's Attorney Jim Glasgow for bringing Hutch to Channahon and for bringing our next K-9 as well. To Beth Price and the good folks at, Beth's here today, there she is, at Tractor Supply for keeping Hutch nourished and ready for duty, to the veterinary staff at Mallard Point Animal Hospital for maintaining Hutch in the best of health, and thank you to all for your unwavering support. As we acknowledge the duty and commitment Dustin and Hutch have made to our community, know that a new K-9 and a new K-9 officer will be taking the reins in just a few short months. Our new K-9 unit will have huge paws and shoes to fill, as I said. The strides Sergeant Carlson and Hutch made in making Channahon one of the safest communities in Illinois are unmatched. Thank you, Dustin and Hutch. Thank you for the sacrifices, the dedication to this community, and for all the good you have done to us. And Hutchie boy, congratulations. You just get to play from now on.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Took away a lot of my thunder, but I'll a little bit here on some of the thanks. Hutch and I have had an honorable and rewarding 8.5-year career with the K-9 deployments, resulting, like you said, numerous drug arrests, weapon seizures, tracking and locating wanted offenders, assisting with searches for missing persons, and being responsible for various forfeitures. Hutch has basically been the face of our department during this time here, and he's had even hundreds more deployments for public appearances, demonstrations, in and around the Channahon community. Looking back, I believe the greatest compliment Hutch has received was from our master trainer. He's a prominent Joliet Police K-9 trainer and has worked with hundreds of dogs throughout his career. He once said to someone, "You can't compare another dog to Hutch. Hutch is a unicorn, and there's simply no other dog like it." The common reference is a testament to Hutch's desire and drive to want to work and to do it successfully, which is unmatched and quite frankly nearly flawless. What is special about Hutch is his ability to turn off and change gears almost immediately. His even-keeled temperament and sociability has allowed him to be greeted by anyone and everyone who wishes to meet and interact with him. He was truly the perfect dog, the perfect police canine for the town of Channahon. Tonight I've started a trend among countless area police departments as Hutch will have the legacy of being Will County State's Attorney James Glasgow's very first of now over 40 police canines in his League of Extraordinary Canines. Mr. Glasgow continues to purchase police dogs for Will County agencies with drug asset forfeiture funds, and we are pleased to say that he'll be purchasing Shannon's next police K-9. We'll start training in just a couple of weeks. Now for my many acknowledgments before the music kicks me off the stage here. First, I want to once again thank James Glasgow again and his team for the opportunity they have afforded the village of Channahon with the purchase of Hutch, as well as the ability to accomplish my career goal of being a K-9 handler. I want to thank Mayor Missey, and all village trustees for your confidence, commitment, and support over the years. Thank you to Chief Bogart. He was my right-hand man from day one. When we implemented the K-9 unit, we were like blind leading the blind, but he's endorsed Hutch and I every step along the way. I also want to throw thanks out to our prior chiefs, Wold and Casey, for their support and implementation as well. Special thanks to Joliet Police K-9 Master Trainers, Bert Babisher and Bruce Javilian, who literally taught me everything I know in the K-9 world. Thank you to all my Channahon officers for their use of Hutch and assistance with Hutch over the years, especially the Bluff family. John, for being Hutch's fill-in handler, as you can tell right now. And his training assistants, and they pretty much provided home with his Hutch with his home away from home. My fellow K-9 handlers I train with, work alongside, and have formed great friendships with. I got Chris Hopper here, Sergeant with Wilmington. He's my go-to guy. The camaraderie amongst our K-9 group is unmatched. Thank you to my wife Trish, my children Knox and Peyton, for supporting me in my dream of being a K-9 handler and dealing with Hutch and all his antics over the years, which I can hear over here right now. Through his digging craters in our yard, barking at thunderstorms and fireworks in the middle of the night, and his inability to drink water from his water bowl in a clean and orderly fashion. Finally, I would not have guessed it when I first began my canine career, but some of the most memorable and rewarding aspects of the canine unit was having the ability to meet so many people and so many families in our community who I could introduce to Hutch. Seeing the joy and the excitement on their faces and allowing them the ability to give Hutch the attention and pets he so greatly desired. So with that, thank you to the Channahon community, both citizens and business partners alike. Initially the Feel-Off, now the Tractor Supply for donating his food. Beth over here with Tractor Supply, always ensure Hutch is pampered and taken care of. The Matterport Veterinary Clinic and Dr. Mark for donated vet care, and Mark's expertise in caring for Hutch and all his ailments over the years, as well as numerous other donors both locally and nationwide. Hutch is officially retiring next week is certainly bittersweet. My squad car is about to get much more quiet and lonely. I'm grateful that Hutch will retire home to me and my family, which he so greatly deserves. He will most certainly be given endless access to the reward ball that he's got there. Likely be snuck a few extra unhealthy table scraps and enjoy his daily backyard relaxation. To close, I want to say I've had dogs my entire life, and Hutch is hands down the best one there. And he is truly the epitome of a man's best friend. And with that, thank you all once again.
And just so you all know, Hutch will not be an only child at the Carlson home. Trish, how many dogs?
Just one other one.
He's got a partner in crime. All right, looking ahead, just a couple, we're almost there, folks, thank you. Grand Prairie Water Commission is planning to break ground in the next month or two, and with that comes a ton of investment and a ton of job creation. Like I said, those construction jobs on the project itself and within all the communities will last for the next several years and be huge investments. CN is also planning to move some dirt and do some preliminary work on their site later this year. We continue to work on infrastructure and traffic concerns. The benefits of that project will also include many union construction jobs, permanent on-site union rail jobs, and significant tax revenue, as we all know, primarily to the schools. The districts in that area are Minooka Grade School District 201 and Minooka High School District 111. Our Quick Trip is planning to break ground at Route 6, just west of I-55. And we're very excited that Bob Taft, who owns Heroes West, has recently purchased the CIBC building just east of I-55 on Route 6, where he is planning to open a new sports-type bar and potentially some other businesses. It is his goal to have the strip center filled by the end of the year. We are poised for the future. We have our fresh branding and our fresh logo, and so thank you to staff, to our elected officials, and to all of our partners for positioning us for success. I want to thank you all for attending, and I do owe some special thanks to a couple of people here. Number one, Mr. Bontrager. Can I have you come up front, please? Trent Bontrager has been with Minooka High School and the audiovisual team, who has brought his students every year to make sure that we have lights and sound, and he is retiring, so this is his last year. So we have a little recognition for you as well. We appreciate you so much, and your students and the valuable experience they get coming and dealing with an event like this. So congratulations on your retirement.
So I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you in the Channahon, Minooka areas that have brought children to Minooka Community High School, where I've been for 33 years, and have enjoyed it every year. There's so many great stories that I've heard and I've seen and experienced through the students, and obviously the parents and the community that bring them to our school. I'm super fortunate and enjoy it every year. Kind of sad to say that this is my last year, but eventually the ride's got to be over, and I'm so thankful to have been a part of it. So thank you so much.
Also special thanks to Sydney over here, who is our marketing and communications coordinator. Not only for putting this together, but also working so hard on this new branding and logo unveiling coordinated with this event. It was a Herculean effort, and she has come through in a shining way. Well done. Also to our front office staff, Letty and Melissa, who are holding down the fort, and Jean, who was right over there a minute ago. She's in the back now. Who made all of this happen, from the caterers to the table toppers to the invitation list and all of the organization. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to Brian Bogart, who made sure that I had some flags and some and a podium here today. He is our buildings maintenance person. And thank you to the Forest Preserve District of Will County. This is a beautiful venue, and we are happy to be here every year. Thank you to our caterer, Polonia, who looks like they've cleaned up already and probably missed this thank you, but thank you to them. And thank you to all of you. Thank you for attending. Thank you for celebrating our successes with us. Thank you for being our partners in our progress and your progress. And thank you for attending the 2025 Village of Channahon State of the Village Address. And please don't forget, I know Jean is out there now, that's where she disappeared to. Please don't forget to grab your new logo goodies on the way out. Have a wonderful day, everybody.